So yeah, when you begin your transition, I like to say this transition and fine. When you begin your transition, you should like think about doing things that before you did it, because of not because even because of gender identity, because I didn't want to drum because I was like it's too far behind, like it's too loud. It's not because it's too loud, but I was like for the apartment I lived in, like it was too loud. I didn't want to disturb the neighbors, like and it looked so complicated where I was just like, I can't afford a drum set. I can't even have a drum set because neighbors would probably complain. But I eventually just got the drum pad and was like, let me learn the basics. And then eventually I just loved it. And then like, still don't have a drum set, but on GarageBand I do. I have a drum set I can go to at any time. So, and it really helped with the timing because I'm there like, use your fingertips, So you're like, But then you start like, because of rudiments, you're using one, like using the other side, your right hand to like type out a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. But you see my fingers jumping all over the place. So if you want it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, something like that. Just a potty rhythm that gets you going. So it's moving at 4 and then every in between. So that's basically a potty rhythm. And then like you increase this one, and then like that's how it goes. And then as you better with your left hand, then you get to get a little more extra with it. So like it's a little hard to do that like just without my sticks, but then the better I get, the better I'll be able to explain it without sticks. Which I do. My pen tapping game is quite amazing. I think what I need to do is like a pen cap challenge. Calling it here first, a pen cap tap challenge. I think I will do that. I always wanted to start something like that, but once again, Instagram, like what does that look like, I have like my previous Instagram, but I don't want to use that. But like Instagram always makes you like just, it always link you to people that you're close to, and then I feel people are just gonna like see it, like see the stuff that I do, maybe find interest in it, and then figure out that's me. Even like with the music, I like it's so much of like the stuff I did as like previous life that like it has so much influences because that's how I learn. That I often wonder, it's just like if someone wanted to, they could just find, someone looked at the picture like long enough and then like listen to all the words I was using, maybe the raps that I've used, because I use raps that like I've previously written and was just like, oh, okay, now this sounds great, and I'm getting it to the voice that I want. But that comes with time and practice. I feel like live performing, even though I haven't, but like when I say it, it sounds like better when I record it. I don't like it the way as much. So I would love to get to the point where like I can like tour this and like perform it. But even still, I don't know what that performance will look like. I know maybe what I'll wear, which feels great. But I've never had to shout that long in a voice that I'm comfortable with. And then like when I EQ the music, like I pitch it up because I'm like, all right, you know what? If it's gonna sound like, it's gonna sound like the way I want it to. It's gonna sound the tone, because like if I'm writing this in this voice and this is not the voice I'm using, and then I'm part of the whole like, part of being gender non-conforming and trans and anything means that you should be able to like just mess with gender in any type of arts, push the boundaries. So if I want to have something where like traditional masculine music has like where they'll always pitch down, why not have it like already pitched up and then pitched down like a femme artist would use, or just have fun with it where I can just use voices that like it doesn't matter, because if it's a non-binary piece of work, which a lot of my music is, then like it would just sound non-binary, and then shoot, like that's what like I guess I went sort of like on a rant here, but shoot, no sugarcoating. But I feel like that's what a lot of like the capitalists like see, is that like, because of, you know, the strength of the transgender population, which is increasing, and non-binary population, that clothing, like you have Fluid, the first clothing line, that is what's it called, clothing store that is non-binary. You have, what is it? I just saw it on Google Alerts. The first lingerie line by a trans woman. Let's see, for trans people. Let's see. I didn't see it. Lingerie created by trans woman. Oh, there we go. This trans woman launched her own line of luxury lingerie. Who is it? The GI collection. Crystallis? Is it? Let's see. Carmen Liu, at 27, from London, designed flattering pair of panties that tucks the genitals. The design isn't boring either. Much like the markings of traditional lingerie, Liu has designed these panties with pretty bows and lace trim. You can see an interview with her in the London Economic, where Liu opens up about the process of making these unique panties a reality. So check that out. Like, the Liu is not a fan of the old school gaff. And I'm reading this off of pridewest.co.uk. So, Liu is not a fan of the old school gaff, which many drag queens and trans women wear, describing it as the love child of Borat's mankinis and the jockstrap. For Liu, it's important that all women have the experience of wearing sexy lingerie. So her range comes in 16 different colors and 6 sizes measured by the waist. The gaff has done its job for the last few decades, but every woman deserves to wear lingerie. Sometimes with the gaff, it feels so painful you have to keep changing your seating position just to take your mind off the pain. The range has a purpose because it's tucking at the same time. We have put a lot of thought into designing the lingerie, and I put a lot of care into it. It's important we give people what they want. In addition to the underwear, Liu will be adding matching bras and tucking tape to her lineup. Unlike duct tape and the other abrasive household items typically used to tuck, Liu's tape is safe for skin and less painful to peel off. So, this is a really good article. I'm going to link this in the description as well. pridewest.co.uk, the trans woman that launched her own lingerie line. So, I like that with this puff of smoke and everything. What song is this? This song is Pop's Journey song by Georgie Jessup and Woman in a Man Suit, off the album Woman in the Man Suit. So, you know, like, I feel like even like the capitalists are seeing this with like clothing stores, trans people, non-binary people, and gender non-conforming citizens of the world are going into clothing stores and not picking out the traditional pieces, you know, where like they had where like they're going to the men's and women's sections. They're sneaking, if they're not out yet, they're sneaking into the other sections. If they're not out yet, they're saying, hey, I'm buying this from my mom, my sister, my grandma, my cousin. I got a birthday party to go to, my best friend, what have you. If they're not out yet, then they don't know about sizing yet. Then they're saying, like, I think the person's this size, but they're about that size. Or they'll find a what's it called? A sales associate who's roughly the same size as them. And then ask them, like, say, like, hey, yeah, they're roughly about your size. And then you can go bigger or smaller, roughly about whatever size they are. Ooh. So, let's see. And then, like, I kind of want to always, like, make a note, which I'm going to start do, is always fill out the survey. Never know when you might make some money, win some money, and two, it helps out the person that helped you out. So give it forward. Surveys aren't filled out. So like, I remember when I worked retail, like, and I loved the retail. It was hard work, but it was very hard work. But like, I learned a lot, and it carried with me to a lot of things that I do today. So, but it's like, and it carries over a lot of spectrums. You would not believe until the minute you start working as a manager in a retail company that like how much like stuff carries over into regular practical life. Every organization, it's business administration basically. Managing people, but yeah, I digress. So, but yeah, people are starting to realize this. Companies are starting to realize this. That's why you have like the list of the, what was it, top 75. Let's see. Fortune, the top 25 Fortune 500 companies. And I'm going to Google transgender to find a article. Let's see what I get. Most transgender friendly workplaces in America. In 2008, 90 companies offered transitioning guidelines. The total this year grew to 291 of all. Let's see. There we go. And this one is off of Fortune.com. 176 companies signed on to a statement opposing Trump's efforts to limit transgender rights. Of course, like, shoot, we buy stuff. We buy clothes and purge them, and then buy more clothes and then purge them. I can only imagine how much the accrued value of purged clothing exists out there. I don't know how much I've spent. I know I've spent in the hundreds though. Maybe if you spent in the hundreds, most likely you spent in the thousands of just purged material. In fact, you definitely spent, like, actually added that, because one product is, what does it say? One product is in retail. One customer is worth like 50. So what's it called? Like this. So you gotta imagine one product is worth like 50 as well. Maybe, I don't know. But it's a kind of like, you understand. So follow me where I'm going with this. It's that, like, if I buy Noxema, which I do recommend to shave with, if you're gonna do it, it's really great. It's a classic clean, original deep cleansing cream, better than shaving cream. If I buy that, right, and then like I'm not allowed that in my household, then what's it called? And then I throw it away before it's done, and then like I'm ready again, then I buy it again. But then you gotta imagine, like, if it was allowed in the household, how often would I have bought that product? Oh. So, 176 companies signed on to statement opposing Trump's efforts to limit transgender rights. Nearly 200. So this article's off of Fortune. Let's see. Nearly 200 companies have now added their names to a statement to the Trump administration opposing new policy that would essentially erase transgender people from legal protections. Let's see, some companies. And 2/3 of Fortune 500 companies prohibit discrimination based on gender identity. Let's see. On November 1st, 2018, 56 companies signed the business statement for transgender equality, which declares solidarity with transgender, gender non-conforming, and intersex people. The statement got a boost on that Tuesday when 121 more companies added their name to the list. The companies that have signed the letter have a total of 7 million employees and a collective annual revenue of more than 3.2 trillion. See, being trans is good for business because the more trans people you hire, even if they're not out yet, like if you hire you hire a trans woman or a trans man, not like yet out, but they're in their gender, they're gonna work in their section of their perceived gender, and the customer comes in and is like, they're not only gonna talk to their own perceived gender customers, they can talk to both genders. Like if I'm out yet and someone asks me in H&M or Uniqlo or clothing store, thrift shop, anything. Somebody asked me in the thrift shop, shoot, I was looking for like a blouse this size but I can't find the blouses. Just believe, like I've seen where the blouses are. Best believe, like I might have a knowledge of what material it is. Best believe that that gives your business double the chance to retain not just one customer, but 50. So that's really important to think about. So this is Trans Radical Rationale. The music is Georgie Jessup off the album Woman in a Man's Suit. Thank you for listening. I'll talk to y'all later. I want to cross my glasses. Oh. I'll talk to y'all later.
Yes. That's right. Yes. GNC Kennedy. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. So, it's been a function, my Broadway's junction. Boy, ain't the girl something? Up and down the block hunting, making meals out of munchkins. Always up to no good. Terrorizing hoods, independent, what's good? You could've when you should've, for you gave up the goods. Now I'm in your head like craning to nooks. What have you been up to? These haters is gumshoes, my ends is tight, these knots is just so loose. No rice, that's just old news. Transient population about to make us stand again. Stay awake and give myself a chance to. You and me ain't enough to stand to. Showing up so we can dance too. Can we show off, do what it do right? Can we show off, do what it do right? Can we show off and do what it do right? Can we show off and do what it do right? Can we show enough?
Like leaning in the Cadillac.
Kick it old school with a gold change, religious pieces collide. Send me the location, I just might slide. Start off with a hey, what you doing tonight? Nothing that contains some blight. Most likely something involving a light. In the dark like gin, rummy, time on the rocks. Pull out the stock, tender for a knock. Good luck, tap, trender, raffles, not where I saw the spot where I live, so I make the most of my crib. Donuts on the corner if you're feeling hungry. Metro on my left you in hurry. All that's missing is the hot and curry, but semantics when I'm holding the glass cakes.
Cause just be holding my
neck, wondering what just happened. Let's get to magic, for the negative becomes a habit. No rice, that's just the old news. Transient population about to make us stand again.
This time we behind some candidates.
Give myself a chance now. You and me enough to dance to. So enough so we can dance too. Can we show off, do what it do right? Can we show off and do what it do right? Can we show off and do what it do right? Can we show off and do what it do right? Well lit, so we frolic a stroll on the clean car path. So I take a glance to my right to check my swag on the left. Go in front so we can walk and gab. What would you like to nap? What would you do to pass last year's fad for next year's grab? Double time when we pass grand, she ain't hail a cab. I asked you, are you down for the beaten path? You said 1, 2, 3 on the count of my math. We crossed the street, now we face the path. I said watch but she pushed me and said behind ya. Hey, let me spin around, yeah, you hide now, see if I can find ya. After 2 or 3 of my world spinning, while the world's spinning, so it's on to wine like we live in a vineyard. Grape seeds, maybe, which I did buy again. Not like I planned to get this here, but I reckon this night to the ill to the sun, like a daffodil to the sun. Like daffodils to the sun, we get our full. Careful when it gets to how I feel. Love and need to dance to. You ain't enough to dance to. Show enough so we can dance to. Can we show off and do what it do like? Can we show off and do what it do like? Can we show off and do what it do like? Can we show off and do what it do right?
Alright, folks, my name is Emmett Mamba.